These things I say might seem kinda cool. So here's something from my heart to you. Looking at you reminds me of looking at the sun, and how the blind are so damn lucky.
Jim O'Rourke is an American musician, composer, music producer, singer, and songwriter based in Tokyo, of all places. He has worked with lots of people. He has been part of the band Sonic Youth. He's done a lot of production work. He's worked with production for Sonic Youth, for Smog, who's also known as Bill Callahan, Joanna Newsom, Wilco. The list of names on the Wikipedia page for him that he's been involved in collaborations with or done production work for is hugely impressive. Tracking down any kind of comprehensive I still can't get it out. A comprehensive discography for him is quite difficult because he's been pretty prolific. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was Jim's second singer-songwriter album, and it's the first time I've listened to it, but I have come across Jim O'Rourke before. In fact, I reviewed one of his other albums earlier in this list. I did an unusual thing with this album, so normally I listen twice to an album, occasionally I listen once. And this got that quite rare third listen. And the reason why was because after the end of the second listen, I still felt like I hadn't really dug into it properly, and I wanted to do that a bit better. So I did. I had another listen, and I actually did less other things to make sure that I actually listened more carefully for that. So let's do some description. It's definitely singer-songwriter stuff, which means there's a kind of variety of styles going on. There's some of it is a bit on the acoustic side, so it doesn't really feel like folk to me, but definitely kind of more acoustic. But then that's mixed in with elements of what I might think of as indie rock, certainly kind of more upbeat, more kind of using overdriven guitar stuff. Musically, it's fairly nice. There's some nice arrangements, some interesting chord sequences, some interesting bar patterns, some stuff that was kind of gently not quite totally straightforward musically, which is good. I always like stuff that's like that. Vocally, it's very he has this very laid back and mellow delivery, which is almost muttering, which is, I think, why I hadn't really picked up on the lyrics the first two times. I'd picked up a few things. It reminded me, interestingly enough, this time of a guy called J.J. Cale, who was is or was, not quite sure, a blues artist who basically muttered his way through his career, but did some very nice music. So it's not attention-grabby music, so it's really easy to let it pass you by, but it's really worth listening to the words and digging into the words, I think. So it's quite curious and interesting in the lyrics. It's quite dark and acidic at times, and it feels like what sounds like songs that might be about love or friendship or stuff like that are actually about hate and death and stuff like that. And it's quite dark, but you have to actually listen to pick that up, because he delivers it as if it was kind of love and friendship. There's one example. There's a track called Get a Room, which is all about somebody who's been given one more day to live and has a last night, and is chosen some girl to go to bed with, but she falls asleep because she's got work in the morning. And then the bulk of it is about these thoughts going through this guy's head as to what should he do about the fact that he's got maybe an hour left to live, and there's this girl asleep next to him, and how is he going to deal with that? So interesting. And lots of other interesting things to dig into, I would say. So I enjoyed it. It's a good album. I definitely enjoyed it much more when I listened more. I think it rewards a good listen. It grew on me over the three listens. First time through, listen, I was kind of meh. I hadn't really remembered what the previous Jim O'Rourke album had been like. But by the end of the third, well, in fact, by pretty much the start of the third listen to it, I was won over. I like this album. So, as always, I'd like to invite you to tell me what you think. So please don't be shy. Talk to me through the comments box. That's it from me for now.
You used to be quite content with your shower cap, but now I know you feel much more at home with a case of handy wrap. You'd hold your own if you thought that it was close.